Yo, yo. Let's give a couple more minutes. Luke usually joins, and Victor joined the EU one. He usually joins this one, but he joined the EU one this time. So we'll see if Luke joins in.
Sorry, I didn't have sound just before. You said something?
Oh yeah. I said Luke usually joins, but he's usually the first one in here, so he might not be joining today. And Victor joined the Europe Asia one this morning, so it might just be you and me that's doing the demo, but we'll see.
I can do the demo next week if
Yeah,
if
that might make more sense. Just get more people to see it. And then we can also shout it out in the channel so that way Luke and Victor, if they're interested, they can join in. But yeah, we'll just give it a few more minutes. And then I created those two PRs too to fix the meeting links. Oh, there's Luke. Perfect.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey. Yeah, Luke, so we were just talking about so David's gonna do a demo of a product that he's been working on that's built on top of CDEvents. So let me actually, how about you give the summary of it, because I'm just gonna say it's a way of visualizing CDEvents, but there might be more to it, so I don't want to like sell it short. So give a summary of what it does.
I will share my screen on the page. So I will try to give a quick overview. It's not really a full demo. So if you have questions, feedbacks, you are welcome to interrupt and to ask during this meeting or via Slack later or via GitHub.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Thanks for staying up late for us, David.
Yeah, much appreciated.
No, it's my pleasure. I will try. I switch computer on computer to be able to do the demos.
All right.
Yes. So you can see my screen, I guess.
Yep.
Okay. So that is the landing page of the project, CDEvents.dev. I try to provide enough information on it. So to illustrate, it's one of the dashboard, but the purpose of CDEvents, why I create CDEvents at the beginning, it was to have a full stack of CDEvents and a full stack of all the components that we mentioned on CDEvents to be able to visualize data and then be able to automate some task. So it's the 4 points I see on this page. So it means collecting events, store them, having some dashboard, maybe alert, etc., and then being able to create reaction. It's not the point creating reaction could be done directly from the collection. I will show you. So the stack is composed mainly of three components currently. The collector. The purpose of the collector is to pull information from some external system and create CDEvents, or to receive from those systems. When I say we have the two directions, because currently I can look into the content of S3 bucket, a file system, but I would like to be able to also scan maybe some data source that will not be able to push information. It could be the case of some registry, etc. So for the pool system, it means having some kind of state, but it's details. So the collector then is able to transform those events and then to push those events into a database or into, alors, NATS is not currently supported. Kafka is in progress. I should release the support of Kafka today, but it could be, today we already have HTTP via HTTP or SS server-side event. Server-sent event, sorry. And we are able to receive some CDEvents directly and dispatch them to other services. So there is a pricing. The community edition is free. So important point, at the end of this week, the collector should be Apache licenses like other component. So every component will be Apache. You have a similar roadmap of what is available today and what is currently planned. Some stuff are not available today. As I mentioned, Luc, it's I plan to do some transformation for Argo CD Webbook and to transform them into CDEvents. So maybe we'll have an overlap and opportunity to sync, or maybe for you to use it for your next talk. I hope.
Yeah. Is it for each of those product like capabilities, whether it's Argo, AWS, Azure, are you just saying that these tools produce CD events?
Yes, it's one of the goals. By example, for AWS, the idea is to connect to AWS Event Bridge. And Event Bridge, it's a way to collect some information. A Lambda is deployed, a Fargate container was deployed, running, SageMaker. So they provide a lot of information. And I try to see how I will be able to convert them into AWS. So the purpose is really to monitor and transform native event into CDEvents for those platforms.
Gotcha. There's not like there's nothing custom like that you're making these CDViz collector compatible. It's just CDEvents is the standard.
Yes, today all the events that are going through the pipeline are CDEvents.
All right.
But the current specification of CDEvents lack some details at some points, or is not very clear. So I have to I made some policy choice. How I define ID, how I define source. Maybe I will add some custom data to have complementary information. Because all native events that are existing today provide a lot of more information than what CDEvents currently include.
Yeah.
One of I will show the current transformations that we have today.
And then if you go up real quick, up, yeah, to the like Kafka topic and
yes,
no, not this, yeah. So I noticed you have databases, webhook. Do you plan on implementing or adding support for like the Google AWS like event buses, like SQS, SNS, for example?
for SNS, yes, it's planned, but it will be on the commercial
Edition. Gotcha,
part.
gotcha. Okay.
But yes, it's planned. I work with SNS a few times ago. I have to go back to the documentation. It's not coming soon. It's why it's not listed. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, no worries. And then let me know when you update this front page with Apache, because I might be able to send it to a few people that are using CDEvents to see if they're interested too, David, if that might help.
Okay, it should be updated end of tomorrow now. I have some page to update, but yes. Okay.
Okay, awesome. Just let me know.
So you have all the information. Something important about the database. It's really 3 different products. I mean that the database is not currently embedded or etc. The schema is open, etc. So everyone is able to create its own dashboard or to use something else. The core part of the database is a big table that works like a data lake, where I put raw JSON and I extract the subject, the predicate, the version, timestamp, and ID. And then I use those data to create some view for dashboard, to ease request for some dashboard. I will show. So I will give you a demo of dashboard and the rest. I wrote, it's not well indexed on Dev2, so I have to make some change, especially on the title. I will start a series this week or next week. But this one is the answer of the message where you ask about hello world. So it's some kind of illustration of the purpose. And if you want to play locally, you will be able to git clone the repository, go to the demo stack compose. There is also a stack Kubernetes and Docker compose, and then you will have a local version that is running with the 3 parts, and also some demo data that are directly read. And you will be able to see this one. As you see, it's a local run. So in the articles, I mentioned to go to the service demo. Why it's named service demo? It's a dashboard I create for the purpose of demonstration during talk, etc. for CDEvents. So it's a pure fake data here on the metric data, but the annotation come from CDEvents and are annotation about service deployment, service upgrade, or incident. And to help for demo, I provide a few, 2 forms, one for service, one for incident. I can create one if you want. And if you want to send your own JSON, you can also push directly your own JSON in this area. So if you want, I can run it, but as I have a lot of stuff and I don't want to extra. So it sends the event directly from Grafana to this local CDEvents collector running on Docker. You have the environment. So it could be used to illustrate the deployment frequency, I will say, a la Dora metrics, you can customize, or to have a counter of incidents, in production. Maybe half are related to artifact. The other part is related, so it's not related to service upgrade. And yes, artifact, extra. And you have access to the content of the main table in the database directly. The split is just a split for the visualization. In reality, we have 1 column with that is the full event. I just split to not have a big JSON. So I have the subject, the context, and the custom data. Here it's full null. But my favorite panel, and the one I explained on the front page since this week, is this page, the first motivation when I launch a project. The purpose is to track deployment. I would like to track from the commit, but several commit could be generate an artifact, etc. So today, the track is from artifact packaging, publishing, sign up, and service deployment. So in this example, this artifact, so it's OCI app EPA. So there is no version defined, but there is a tag, was published. Published means deploy on a registry. And then we have the timestamp. It was not signed, at least this one was not signed, but then it was used as part of a service deployment. So in this case, it was deployed into a group dev. I choose to include the region, so Europe 1 into the namespace A, deployment A, and it was the container A. So about service, because you know a little bit about the structure of CDEvents, it is the environment is group 1 prod / UA2 for this line. And the service, I use the namespace, deployment, and container. Why? It's because when we create a CDEvent, we should provide the artifact ID, and the artifact is just a Docker image that was packaged, and not a mchart today or another packaging. So to be able to create this link today just based on the info we have, I choose to have the deployment and the namespace. And also because for some container, they can be deployed multiple times in different deployments and different namespace. It's why I made this choice. It's fully customizable, but it means to change the transformation of the event. But by default, I provide what I provide is follow this rule. So in this case, we have two rules. The color defines the deeper the deployment go. So if you have only the first line is gray, maybe here it's only green, and if you deploy in production, I will say all in production, you are gold. Today, the choice of the color is not customizable. You have to modify the panel, but
can you hover over one of the nodes again? I was trying to get all the data that was in there. Okay, so timestamp stage. Okay. Interesting. So when it says transition, right? Because I was looking at the transition, that's just the duration that it took, or what's the transition mean?
The transition, this one is the duration. Is the duration, the average. In fact, it's the average transition between published and signed. So for the signs that we have, it took 5 minutes between this transition and this one.
Gotcha.
From sign to it take 20 minutes, etc. And for production, it take 7 hours.
Okay.
So it's an average, and you have the same information regarding the angle of this line. So the angle will, if you have a straight line, it means that everything will be done nearly at the same times. But if you start to have a long line that way, it means that it takes more time between each step to go.
Gotcha.
So this information could be seen maybe as your deployment time. From packaging to full production, you have to do the sum. but sometimes the deployment could stop in one production environment, but not in the second one, etc., etc.
And then if I wanted to look up the last, like a specific transition, like for a flow, is that possible, or is it always just going to be the average?
In this case, it's the average of what is displayed. I don't have the filter yet.
Oh, I see. So, but you could add something that was like specific, where
Exactly.
like, yeah, okay,
In
awesome.
this case, you have the timestamp of the event. So
Mhm.
in this case, we see it was 14, and the deployment was 15:10.
Gotcha.
But yes, currently it's not provided, and the latest version available in this stage.
And then latest version and tag, that's latest version of the deployment service and not the event tag or event version, or
No,
what?
it's the latest version of or the tag of the artifact.
Right. So it's like, for instance, if Docker image was like v1.2.3, it would be that, right? And not like
Yes.
the event. Okay, just making sure.
No, the purpose is it's not to show CDEvents, it's to show
The
it's
life
really,
cycle.
yes, the life
Okay.
cycle of artifact.
Okay, cool.
So it's what is interest tech lead, and at least our people where I work with them, is this version already deployed? What is the latest version deploy? What is the delay between deployment, etc., etc. That was question I have from PM, from other tech lead, or sometimes to enable some feature flag, or to understand what is what is the current version.
Gotcha. The reason why I asked, because I saw 0.2.1 and then I saw 0.2.0 and then the 2.1 again. So I was just like, oh, what is that? So
It's the latest version in this environment. So in production, in those two stage or environment, let's name it, that is the version. In this case, it's UAT staging.
mhm.
It's an older version. It's strange, but it's the case because we can see that this version didn't go through UAT. It was directly promoted from dev to production.
Gotcha. Okay.
It's why
That
you don't see
explains why. Okay. I was just wondering like why that was, and maybe I was misunderstanding what that column meant. But okay, thank you for the explanation. Yeah, now it's clear.
So you have the life cycle and deployment of the artifact across all steps. So in the future, if we have test case on UAT, etc., for this artifact, today we don't have the information, but it's something that could be added. We could have inserted a line and say, oh, I want to see maybe if the artifact was tested or not. So that so this artifact, and for run or execution CDEvents, I extract some they are empty in this case because I don't provide sample data, but I could show you on the live environment. So this one is in this case, I monitor my GitHub organization. So you can see all the GitHub pipelines that are running. So I have the queue time, the running time, etc., and the information for each of one. We can see the full one sample. So it took less than 60. The average is 60 seconds, and we can have some details. If I click, it's open directly the GitHub where you have more details. But it helped to have an overview of the past result, the duration, some information that could be sometimes useful for team, especially when it's for test. TestCube use a similar view, by example, to show some result, but could be also useful to see that this pipeline take 5 minutes to run and failed. So the last one failed. The last run failed, by example. So you have some kind of history, and this one could be very, very long. In this case, it's a long queue time. It was queued for a long time before 30, 50 minutes nearly. So it's helped to have. It's one way to show other information from purely CDEvents. So during previous meeting, we talked about build. Build could also have this type of screenshot of dashboard. There are samples. It's just to illustrate what is possible. But this one is one of the most complicated, but I will show you. So definition of the database. The dashboard I show you have also some page where you have more information. So in this case, I try to explain how to read all the information, but you can also see the look at the SQL query I made to create it. In this case, there's additional data transformation made by the panel itself. It's not raw data, but so yes. So as you mentioned, there is this kind of quick hello world to illustrate. You can use curl or the form to push an event. In this case, it will be raised at the end. So I try to say, hey, you can do better. Not sure it's what you expect for a hello world, but I think there is enough material for someone to start playing directly, send what event you want. So if you want to play with other kind of event, having them in database, make the query, see how information can be combined, etc., it's fully doable. So the important component is the collector itself. So as I mentioned, the purpose of the collector is to receive. Internally, it's composed of source, the source, a queue, and then then every events are broadcast to everything that are configured into the collector. So today there are something for std out or logs, database, HTTP, HTTP in terms of post or server-side event, and Kafka coming that will coming. And for source, so we have Kafka not yet available. The NOP is do nothing. So a source itself is composed of an extractor and a chain of transformer. And the chain of transformer is where I will transform webhook event, Argo CD webhook events into CDEvents. It's where today I made the transformation of GitHub events, by example, where artifact published are created from package published GitHub events. It's a bit more complicated, but and for to create those transformers, I use a language named vector remap language. I'm not the author of this language. It's a language created by Datadog for their log collector system. and we have a lot of feature. It's very efficient. I have a repo where I made a quick benchmark to compare several possible language, an alternative. And today, in my demo environment, I'm not sure you will see something because I didn't do a lot of deployment recently, but artifact, yes, since can we see? No, I didn't do. I mostly work locally, so I didn't do. Sorry. So today, to be able to monitor Kubernetes, that is one of my goal. I use Kubernetes KubeWatch. So it could be deployed, it's part of the chart of CDV's collector if we don't want to create it manually. So you can publish with KubeWatch enabled. And in this case, it transforms KubeWatch event where I know what I monitor deployment, stateful, set, and daemon set. And I convert events from these three resources into into service deploy, service remove, and service deploy, upgrade, or removed. To detect if it's an upgrade, I look at KubeWatch sends the previous state and the new state. So it's how the detection is done. So yes, I enable deployments at full set external. So that's mainly it, mainly the main part. One of the new feature is for the is I as mentioned. So I show more about the connect, also named the server mode. So it's when you run and it will take care of this long transformation. So CDV's connector can be run as a CLI on Mac and Linux. I didn't build it for Windows. You have to use Docker for Windows. But there is also a send command. And with this send command, you will be able to send CDEvents. So the main difference versus curl, I could say, is with curl, as soon as you want, you will have to generate an ID, the timestamp, and if you start to use some authentication or signature, it means some kind of pre-processing. With CDV sent, you can provide the configuration file, the same as connect, and you can say, hey, you will have to sign the message following this algorithm and this token, and it will take care of the sign. It will also generate an ID automatically, not a UID. A CDEvent doesn't generate a UID for events. It use content ID. So it means that if you send the same message twice with same timestamp, you will have the same ID, and it's help to deduplicate data for the consumer, the database or other. And the transform is a local command that is used to test transformer. So you can provide a set of input files, a set of expected output files, and it will compute the transformation so it's help to check. And there is an option. Yes.
Does this transformer take one of those VRL files, or is
Yes.
that okay? Awesome.
So it takes VRL files or other hard-coded transformer. There are two other transformer, three, I don't remember. So I don't see the menu. So there's a transformer that is log. So the purpose is to help debug when you have some issues. So you can insert it before another transformer, after transformer, etc. Discard, that can be used to remove all message. Pass through, the default one is go, and VRL, that is a little bit more, that could be more complicated. So this one is a small transformer when you can manipulate the metadata, the header and the body. The header help you to add some header information that could be used, that will be sent to Kafka or to the sink or to the database if needed.
Gotcha. Oh, that's awesome.
So yes, it's the purpose is the original purpose. There is a big overlap with CDEvents transformer, but it's not that we start, but you don't need to learn Go or to have the Go. You can create some basic transformation or more complex. The transformer for GitHub is yes, this one. It's a bit more complex. Yes, I move it because I will create later. I will create a dedicated report transformer. So today for GitHub events. So I have for run so as I mentioned, I have an input folder and output folder. I configure the CDEvents collector to use them. And yes. And as you can see, start to become a bit more complicated, especially this part is how to create the artifact ID following the package URL format, the PURL format. So I look if it's an OCI, if it's a Maven, if it's NPM, etc. So in this case, it creates artifact for asset on release or for stuff that you publish on GitHub registry, by example. So it's why it starts to become a bit more complicated. So as I was talking about send, and with the send feature, I also quickly wrap into a GitHub action, because one of the goals of send was to use it into CI pipeline, GitHub action, GitHub workflow, GitLab, etc., to send CDEvents to CDVs or to something else. Doesn't care about the destination. And so it's allowed to create a small so a GitHub action that you can use to send this CDEvents. If it's not a CDEvent, it will be not sent. It will be rejected. Because on the pipeline I mentioned into the flow, the pipeline validates that it's only CDEvents that are go through the pipeline. So in this case, as you can see, there is no ID, no timestamp. I let the CDEvents collector send command to generate them. And if you have some authentication, you can inject, if it's a static authentication, you can add an header. And if it's a signature, you have to provide a custom config files and say, hey, you sign using this algorithm, this prefix. And because I don't want to include the token, I override the configuration with a token read from secret. So the configuration is come from the files, the TOML files, and everything in the TOML files can be override by environment variables. So it's more friendly for this case and also for Kubernetes deployment. Yes. I guess that's all. I was also pretty long. I have to find. Do you have some questions?
No, this was awesome. I really liked the work that you've put in, especially like until this took quite a while. And really appreciate you hanging out in the SIG groups to kind of like illustrate some of the issues. Clearly, you've run into them because I didn't know it was like this verbose. It did all this. But I really like some of your solutions. That the Vero file is really, really interesting. I really like that. I mean, the GitHub one's a little complicated, but that's because the GitHub APIs are also pretty verbose, right? So,
I,
so it,
I
was that
don't use a lot of information, in fact, from the GitHub API. Yes, it's verbose, but I don't use the one of the biggest part in reality for GitHub is really the how to build the package, the artifact ID. If you look at some other event, for example, task, just say, hey, or a pull request, I just create the JSON and I plug the data directly, for example.
gotcha. Okay.
So it's for some, it's really straightforward, I could say. But
Hmm.
as soon as you have to create some information, it starts to become for cloud events, for KubeWatch, it's the same. The biggest part is to how to parse container information and then rebuild it into an OCI, a package URL format. So we have to parse it, split it, extract, encode, extract information,
Hmm.
etc., etc.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting that it has like logic in it too. But yeah, really interesting project overall. And like I said, let me know when you update the web
Mm.
page to be all Apache, because I definitely think that there is a place for this. I can't promise you anything, but I can definitely send it around to a few people that are using CDEvents to at least get maybe even some feedback would be really nice. But like they'll play around with it and see what they could use it for as well.
Yes, if by example you cannot use it for demo, etc., because of X or Y, tell me,
Okay.
and I will try. One of the goal was to help people to demonstrate, to do live demo or etc.,
Mhm.
without having to set up
Everything.
everything. So it's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
I have the Docker Compose, and for stuff that are a bit more complicated, there is also the Kubernetes one, where in this case you could have Argo CD, Arbor, or whatever, or other tools that can start to operate together, etc. One important thing, if you use the Docker Compose, if you launch it twice, you will start to have more data. It's because today it's not implemented yet, but when he starts, he read CDEvents from a folder using the OpenDAL source, and because there is no, it didn't memorize, don't store the state. So after a run, he completely forgot which file he already read and which he didn't read yet. So he read from the beginning each time. So he will recreate every CDEvents from the start.
Gotcha.
And in this case, I will show you. It could interest you. When we start to do some demo, it could be very long to create some CDEvents, and when you start to have some CDEvents with the format that will change with the next version, etc., to reformat every every samples can also be a bit long. So we support, you can provide a set of JSON and then use a transformer to modify those events. Or you can use this one is the sample for the deployment. In fact, what I created, it's a CSV file, and then no, it was this one, same name. So I create a CSV files where I put some artifact deployment, etc. Like it could be into a database, and I associate a transformer that read from the CSV files and generate directly all the CDEvents. So if I have some change in the CDEvents format, I will just change the transformer.
Gotcha.
Because there is a lot of duplicate data when you start to create a bunch of JSON file. It could be long.
Yeah.
I think this one, yes. So often, yes, for demo, I create some CSV files. It's also easier to understand what is the important demo. In this case, I say this deployment start at the first day, this one at the third day after the command dat, or this dat is defined in the artifact. The T0 is now -7 day. So it's why when I run the demo, I'm always sure that when I display the last 7 days, I have some data to display.
Gotcha. Okay, awesome. Yeah, like I said, this looks really promising. Like I said, keep me posted on
Yes.
on everything, and then yeah, I'll try to ship this, see if anyone's interested in using it, and then if we have any issues like demoing it, etc., I'll reach out to you. What about you, Luke? What'd you think?
I think, yeah, it's a really great way to start out with CDEvents. Appreciate the kind of the stack, the I think that was Docker Compose of here's kind of a hello world structure of things. I was wondering for like the CDViz collector, I think you were showing a picture of like its internal architecture. It had a queue. I'm assuming there's just like a Go queue, or just something internal to the collector itself.
The collector itself. Yes.
Yeah, I think, yeah, you had, yeah, like in that first picture, it's like, oh, there's a queue in memory or something.
Yes, it's in-memory queue.
Okay. Is there, I guess when I was first thinking about CDEvents that I would be, Argo or some other tool that I would be sending events to a different message or bus or queue. So like I might be sending.
It's one of the idea. It's what I don't show in terms of topology is in this case you can the purpose is you receive. It's a very memory queue where I just check if it's a CDEvent and to be able to send in several sync. But one of the sync is Kafka, and in this case, after you will have maybe a longer transformation, processing, dispatch, maybe to another collector, etc. One of the use case I mentioned KubeWatch. For example, KubeWatch, when you want to monitor what's happening in a Kubernetes cluster, you will launch one KubeWatch, and it will only see what's happened in his cluster, and KubeWatch send webhook without any security, either a signature or something. So in this case, CDEvents collector can be used on side with KubeWatch just to transform KubeWatch event into CDEvents, but also to sign them and to push them into a queue or to push them into another CDVs collector through a queue, through HTTP, through server-side events. Yes, and you have another aggregator. It's the same way in Argo CD. You can create a master Argo CD that manage one Argo CD per cluster or not. There are a lot of discussion on this topic in Argo CD ecosystem, but you can use several collector in your infrastructure also. So it's why it's a memory queue, but
Gotcha.
you could have a longer queue. It's one of the purpose. Maybe you want to have another system.
Yeah.
Anyway, this memory queue is I could say one way to avoid to have an end relation to connect every source to every sink and to say, hey, you can send that's it.
Gotcha.
Why I mention server-side events is is one of the use case for server-side events is to inverse the roles. If you have a CDVs collector or a system that is outside of your infrastructure on a provider, like when I will provide a SaaS, for example, or somewhere else, and you want to, when you have a GitHub, if you use GitHub to receive a webhook, it means that into your internal system, you have to expose an HTTP port. You have to expose your internal to the public to receive a webhook from GitHub, from Slack, or whatever. With SSE, it's the opposite. I mean, your internal will connect to this external CDVs collector, and then the CDVs collector will push through the server side the event. So you don't have to expose an internal system outside. So it's why I have implemented the both.
Okay.
It's yes, I try to take care of some infrastructure and variation issue and security. Today, the main way to secure HTTP is using signature. GitHub use signature, etc. Because the token, the API key is not shared.
Yeah.
It's not
No,
the case for
that's
GitLab, I think, but yes.
yeah. No, yeah, this looks really interesting and yeah, great way to get into CDEvents. I guess maybe a I don't know, controversial question for Ben, if like does this look like it becomes the reference architecture for CDEvents, or is there kind of a different discussion going on there?
Yeah, so we have another architecture that is going to probably be the architecture, which is called Conduit, where Conduit's goal is to solve interoperability. So it's this is a very different tool. This is just, utilizing CD events as it sits, with like the fully functional features like, notifications, collections,
Yeah.
graphs, etc. But Conduit's purpose is to actually allow for interoperability through some form of a DSL, some sort of a language. So that would probably be closer to what you're thinking of, Luke,
Okay.
in terms of
Yeah.
like the architecture. But yeah.
Gotcha.
Yes, where Conduit will maybe consume CDEvents, so it will be in this area, I could say. So in this case, I put NV10, MEC, I don't remember this one. Argo, yeah, it's not Argo CD in this, it's Argo workflow and Argo events.
Yeah.
But Conduit, it's more in this place where I will, I guess, consume events and then maybe resend an event or will then send an event to drive other system. Maybe in the future, I'm not fully clear today. Maybe collector will support not to just send CDEvents, but I will maybe authorize to have some transformer with sync. So it means that we will be able to send another kind of event. But in the middle, the queue will always be a CDEvent. So it means you will have an event A, it will become a CDEvent internally, but at the output, I could trigger another event. The goal will be to avoid to have NV10 or MEX tool just to transform to in the pipeline to call another system.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I was thinking Conduit would live too. It's like in
Yes.
that, in that bus area. But yeah. So that hopefully makes sense for you, Luke. And then I know we're close to being out of time. I have another meeting too. So I just wanted to say thank you, David. And like I said, just let me know when that
Yes.
license gets changed, and then I'll try to shimmy this forward and see if anyone's interested and let you know, right?
Yes.
Awesome. And
And
thanks again. And thanks for joining, Luke. Always really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, thank you all for
yes,
the demo and the talk. Thank you.
Awesome. All right.
thank you.
Bye, everyone.
And Luke, I will ping you when I will start to work on the transformer for Argo CD. So you
Cool.
could take a look.
Yeah, certainly let's keep in touch at least on Slack. Like I will
Mm.
be I think I think you responded like you saw some of my proposals. There's some work that I'm going to do where I think like I'm kind of exploring I'm not committing to this, but just exploring where it's like what if Argo just natively emitted CD events versus like having to do a transfer, having CDVs have to do transformers because it's I guess the webhook events that come out of Argo CD they have like out of the box examples, but it could be anything. It's a pretty wide open API for their notification controller. So there's lots of ways to solve this or to consume this Argo data.
Yes, definitively.
Yep.
But
Yep.
is by example for your demo, if you could have Argo CDs that generate through Webhook plus templates or natively the CDEvents, and then you will have to do something with those CDEvents. So it's one way could be just to store them into the database.
Yep.
And
Yeah, I
then
think just that simple kind of just being able to see the events come out and
yes,
using something like CDViz where it's like, oh, here's the data in a easy to consume way, and just kind of hopefully that gets people thinking more about the utility of CD events and everything.
and without the database, yes, I mentioned it with you. So I'm late in writing the short blog post, but CDVs collector, one of the things is std out, it's named debug, and you can use it just to receive event and to log on screen and say, yes, it's a valid CD event. It's what I receive. So you can, for a demo, it could be a destination for your work.
Yeah, just like kind of like a log output or something of here are the messages coming in. Yeah.
Exactly. Thanks for your attention.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, no, thank you again for this discussion as well. Appreciate it all.
Thank you.
Yep. Have a
Bye.
good one.